All right, guys, welcome to video 3. Now we're going to do reflections on the coordinate plane. So a reflection, remember, it's kind of like when you're looking in the mirror, and if you wink your eye, it's that side. But in reality, if you turn that mirror, it actually looks like it's the opposite side winking at you. So that's what a reflection means. It's just, it reflects. It's the opposite image, okay? So I'm going to start with making sure you remember what the reflection looks like. So, whoa. All right, so reflection. We reflected here, we can reflect here, we can reflect this way. Different ways you can show a reflection, okay? So a reflection is only, it's only a flip. You're just flipping it. So I'm gonna keep these because we're gonna keep using these. So a reflection is just a flip. And usually you're going to, they'll tell you you're going to reflect over the y-axis or reflect over the x-axis. So I'm either going to reflect over my y, which is what we saw before, or I'm going to reflect over my x, okay? Those are how the reflections are normally going to go. So if I were to put an image here, and I said reflect over something, which axis did I reflect? I reflected over my y-axis, because remember, this is my y. This is my x. So this is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. So all I did was I reflected over the y. So what if I asked you to reflect over a different axis? Since there's only one other one, it shouldn't be too complicated to understand what I asked you to do. I just reflected over the x-axis this time. So that's it, okay? That's all it's gonna ask you to do is reflect the image. Now, we need to look at what this would look like if we actually had a shape, a figure. So the first figure I'm gonna do is gonna be 2 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see, I'll put it down here. So my pre-image is 2, 6, 7, 4, and what I write? 2, 2. Okay, and this is W, X, and Y. I'm gonna just go ahead and make a note for my image, and that's going to be my W prime, my X prime, and my Y prime. Okay. Don't laugh at my skills. I know I have skills, so don't sweat the technique. All right, so I have 2, 6. I'm gonna go to 7, 4. So I'm gonna go from 0. I'm gonna go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what did I forget to do? I hope you noticed. What did I not do? I didn't label my point. There is a problem when you do not label your points, because then you don't know which one you're dealing with. And you got to go back and be like, okay, which one was what? I don't know. Don't do that. Label it as soon as you put that point on there. Label your point. So for my last point, I'm going to go over 2, up 2. So now I have my figure here. And don't laugh at my lines, because y'all know I don't do straight lines without a ruler. And I really can't stand lines that are not straight, but it is what it is. So I have my pre-image ready to go. Now I need to look at what I'm gonna do. I want you to reflect the figure over the y-axis. So we are going to reflect over the y-axis. Now, in order for me to do that, what am I going to need to do? Where's my y-axis, first of all? Right here. So I need to go from here and I need to reflect it. Now, if I just did this, is that a reflection? If I just took it, if I just took this and I just slid it over here, did I reflect? No, I just slid it. All I did was translate it. Remember, when you reflect, you have to flip it. You have to do the mirrored image. My yellow, my red. So we're gonna start with W because in the alphabet, W comes before X and Y anyway. So W is at 2, 6. I need to get this point over here in the same place, but a reflection. What are you talking about? How does that make any sense? That means the coordinates, the number on the coordinate doesn't necessarily change. It will change the position. So what part of it changes? When you reflect over the y-axis, the only thing that changes is the X value. I'm going to show you what I mean. When I'm at W, I'm at 2, positive 2, positive 6. W needs to be over here on this 2. However, on this 2, I'm on my negative sides. So I need to make sure I remember my coordinate grid here. Because I've got positive, positive, I have positive, negative, I have negative, negative, and I have negative, positive. So negative, positive, 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 negative, negative, negative. You need to remember that, okay? So I go 2 and 6. So all I'm doing is I'm going 1, 2 spaces to my origin, and then I'm doing 1, 2 spaces to my origin, to my prime point. This is W prime. I'm going to do the same thing with my X. Now, how many spaces does it take from here to here? Remember, I said the only thing that changes is the X value. So I'm going to end up at -7. My phone is doing something weird. Did it stop? If my voice cuts out, I'm sorry. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But if I do 7, 4, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know it takes me 7 spaces or 7 units to get back to my 0. So it's gonna take me another 7 to get out to where my X prime is gonna be. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is my X prime. And then for Y, well, I went 1, 2 to get to Y. I'm going to go backwards, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Y prime. And then I'm going to connect my points. So when I get down here to writing my image, what changes? The X. It's the only thing that changes. The part of the X that changes is it goes from all positives to all negatives. So now I have, let me write that in black. So now I have, instead of a +2, I have a -2, and the and the Y stays the same. Here, my X becomes a -7, but my Y is still a +4. And down here, I have a -2, but my Y is still a +2. Okay? So, Take a screenshot of this if you need to. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like if we had to do it over the X value. I'll give you a second. Please click pause so you can take a picture. And we're back. Okay. So this time, I'm going to have an image. So I'll do it up here. My pre-image is going to be 2, -2, 7, -7, and 2, -7. So that is my pre-image. And then my image, we don't know yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it on there. We're gonna label this D, E, and F. And of course, this will be D prime, E prime, and F prime. So let's do our first figure. We want this to be at 2, -2. So I'm gonna go over to my origin, and I'm gonna say 1, 2 on my X, and I'm going down 2 because it's a -2. That's D. Then I'm gonna go over to 7, so I know this is 2, so I'm gonna say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully you can see that. I hope it's not too loud. And then I have 2, -7. So I'm gonna go back over here to my origin and go 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that is my F. Layla, do me a favor, making sure you can see. Can you see the bottom?
Mm-mm.
You can't see it at all?
Mm-mm.
Can you shift it down real quick for me? Hold it still so you can see it. Stay there, don't go anywhere. Guys, this is, you can't see her, she's behind the camera, but that's my middle daughter. And she's helping me out because if I get up to move the camera, it's just gonna be weird. I don't know, just weird. All right, so you have D, E, F. This is our pre-image. We need to reflect this figure over the x-axis. When you reflect over the x-axis, so think back, the y-axis, the x changed. If I'm flipping it over the x-axis, logically, what's going to change? The y. So now my y value is the only thing that's going to change. Can you still see this top part?
Mm-hmm.
In the camera?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if +2, -2 is where I'm at, I'm going to take my D and I'm going to go up to my origin. It took me 1, 2 spaces to get there. So I'm already at 2. So we know this is not going to change. My X is not going to change. But then I'm going to go up 2 spaces. And I'm putting my D prime. Go to E. In order for me to get from here to here, it took me 7 spaces. So I'm going to go back up here. And I'm going to go up 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If it took me 7 spaces to get from my point of origin to my E, then the same thing needs to happen when I'm going in the opposite direction. When I'm going over my x-axis, I still need to go up 7. Over here, I'm at 2 for F, but I went down 7. So I need to go back up to origin 7 spaces, that's my origin, and then up 7 more. And that is my F prime. And then all I have to do is connect my points. So this is a reflection over the x-axis, which means my y values changed. So everything on here for my 2, my 7, and my 2, they're not going to change. It's still 2. However, instead of a -2, now I'm up here in my positives. Remember, quadrant, this quadrant here is our positives. So my positive is a +2 for my x, and my y changed from a -2 to a +2. Can you see both of them? Mm-hmm. On my E prime is also in my double positives. So instead of 7, -7, I have 7, +7. And then my F prime is also in this double positive. So my 2 for my x stayed the same, and my 7 becomes a positive. Take a screenshot if you need to. This is how you reflect over, oh, I didn't change that, I'm sorry, y'all. This is how you reflect over the x-axis.
You can't see that.
You can't see it.
Can I move it up?
Hmm?
Should I move it up?
You can. I don't want that to go away too much, though. I don't know if you can zoom back out without turning it off.
No, you can.
Can you see everything now?
Yeah.
All right, my camera girl, thank you. She hooked it up. So now you can see, reflect over the x-axis. This was my my pre-image. I reflected it over my x-axis. Ooh, went right there. That changed my y values, my y coordinate. It changed my y, but my x stayed the same. If you get confused, go in and ask for the Hints in Khan Academy. Go back to the video. Go back to this video. Go back to your notes that we did in Q1. You have a lot of resources. Email questions. Put the question on Google Classroom because you might not be the only person that has the question. So you can also put your questions on Google Classroom so that other people can say, okay, well, I had that same question. So-and-so asked that question already and Ms. Tyndale answered it. So that can also be helpful as well, okay? So we have, I think I have one more thing I need to go over with you guys, and that will be the last video. Make sure that you watch this video before you do the assignment, okay? And I will see you guys in the next video. I got it.